The H1B guy here. And today, the H1B guy news for the week ending January 5th, 2024. Today, I'll cover the future of the H1B visa in 2024 and Chipmaker's visa proposed. But before we get started, I'd like to ask you, if you haven't already, to please subscribe to the H1B Guy channel here on YouTube and like this video so that I can continue to produce more content like this for you. I also wanted to mention the H1B Guy offers a variety of consulting services. I help businesses and individuals solve complex work authorization issues in the recruitment process while bringing awareness to employment based immigration benefits. If I can help you, please reach out. Love to hear how. You can book an appointment directly with me via the h1bguy.com. Today's news is brought to you by Syndesis, the ideal plan B for high skilled immigrants currently located in the U.S. whose status may be uncertain, by PERM-Ads.com, the industry leader in providing a seamless experience for employers and immigration attorneys navigating the complex PERM recruitment ad phase of the labor certification process, and by Mob Squad. Are you a technology professional facing U.S. work visa related challenges? Don't leave your fate up to chance. Our partner Mod Squad has a solution. Join the squad. Now, the news. On January 2nd, 2024, Anderson, in his annual post for Forbes titled The Outlook of the H-1B Visas and Immigration in 2024. Quote, under the proposed update to the random selection process, registrants will continue to submit registrations on behalf of beneficiaries, and beneficiaries would continue to be able to have more than one registration submitted on their behalf, according to USCIS. Selection will be based on each unique beneficiary identified in the registration pool rather than each registration. Each unique beneficiary would be entered into the selection process once, regardless of how many registrations were submitted on their behalf. USCIS plans to use passport information to identify beneficiaries, and individuals would select among the employers that submitted H-1B registrations on their behalf. Employers welcomed some measures in the proposed rule, such as cap gap employment protection for international students, but opposed the new ways that the government would restrict who qualifies for an H-1B petition. In the comments to the new rule, the National Foundation for American Policy highlighted two notable restrictions. First, the rule uses the phrase directly related specific specialty to narrow the positions considered specialty occupations. The rule states that to qualify as a specialty occupation, the position must require a U.S. baccalaureate or higher degree in a directly related specific specialty or its equivalent for entering the occupation. On January 4th, 2023, USCIS published a proposed rule to raise fees substantially. Among the most controversial, a potential asylum fee of $600 to be paid by employers who file either Form I-129 or Form I-140. USCIS DHS also proposed to increase the H-1B electronic registration fee for each beneficiary for H-1B petitions from $10 established in 2019 to $215, a 2,050% increase. Employers would pay 70% more for beneficiaries on H-1B petitions, 201% more for employees on L-1 petitions, and 129% more for individuals on O-1 petitions. For adjustment of status, advanced parole, and a work permit with biometric services, fees would increase to 130% from $1,225 to $2,820. This final rule is expected to be published in April 2024 or later. If so, higher fees on H-1B registrations would not apply to the H-1B selection process in 2024. So I wanted to cover this annual article from Stuart Anderson that I've covered the last 3 years and wanted to do it again this year. My biggest takeaways are the clarification for how the H-1B lottery for fiscal year 2025 is going to work, as well as the significant increase in USCIS filing fees really across the board. So, first off, employers will register an individual once, and individuals can still have multiple employers register them. However, the individual will only be entered into the lottery once, and USCIS plans to differentiate individuals by their passport. Then the individual will have the option of selecting if multiple employers are selected, selecting which employer they choose to go with for their H1B sponsorship. It also appears that USCIS will not increase the registration fee to the proposed $215 until next year's lottery, which would be for fiscal year 2026. I've previously covered this proposal to increase these fees, but I wanted to mention that based on the publication in the Federal Register and this updated note that we will not see these fee increases implemented till at least April or after, basically once the initial H-1B lottery has concluded and USCIS begins accepting applications. On January 4th, 2024, Anton Shalov for Tom's Hardware, in an article titled Semiconductor Industry proposes new chipmakers visa for H-1B program. Program would address extreme talent shortages in chipmaking industry. Quote, the U.S. semiconductor industry is facing a big problem. It will be short 67,000 employees by the year 2030, according to estimates by Semiconductor Industry Association, SIA, a lobbying group for the semiconductor sector. Efforts to develop local in the U.S. are ongoing, but there is still a big gap, which is why the industry depends on engineers, computer scientists, and technicians from abroad. However, the U.S. H-1B visa system is making it tough to bring in and keep these workers, so the U.S. chip making industry is calling on the U.S. government to rethink it. One of those options is a new type of visa specifically for the semiconductor industry. A new type of visa, a chipmaker's visa, specifically for the semiconductor industry, has been proposed by the Industry and the Economic Innovation Group, EIG. The proposal aims to provide a more streamlined process for industry specific acquisition. The these measures is underscored by the industry's crucial role in national security and the broader economy. As proposed, the new visa would allow for 10,000 new visas per year with an expedited process for recipients to get a green card. 2,500 of these 5-year visas would be auctioned off to companies every quarter, and the visa could be automatically renewed by the recipient one time. This is really interesting because if we go back to 2022, where we covered the CHIPS Act, which earmarked billions in funding for the semiconductor industry, unfortunately, the CHIPS Act did not address the talent shortage that the semiconductor industry is currently facing. Based on this report, that gap is expected to reach 67,000 in the next 6 years by 2030. Instead of addressing the gap via the H-1B visa, the Economic Innovation Group is proposing a new visa appropriately called the Chipmakers visa. 10,000 total visas annually that would be distributed in 2,500 increments quarterly via an auction. The Chipmakers visa would be valid for 5 years with a one-time automatic renewal option and also provide an expedited path to permanent residence. I'd definitely like to know more about this auction, but my assumption is that it's really referring to the highest paid salary and not necessarily the employer willing to pay the highest fee. Instead of creating an entirely new visa category, I'd strongly prefer that we reform the current system to make it more equitable and accessible for individuals and employers. For the full post on the H1B Guy news for the week ending January 5th, 2024, please check out the h1bguy.com. And a reminder that today's news is brought to you by Syndesis, the ideal plan B for high skilled immigrants currently located in the U.S. whose status may be uncertain. If you're facing an H-1B denial or OPT expiration, don't get caught off guard. Make sure you have a plan B and Syndesis is your answer. They'll gladly help you navigate the process, and if you'd like to find out if you qualify, please be sure to use the link in the video description below, and someone from Syndesis will be in touch. By perm-ads.com. the industry leader in providing a seamless experience for employers and immigration attorneys navigating the complex perm recruitment ad phase of the labor certification process. If you're looking to reduce your cost and overhead associated with perm labor certification recruitment advertising, let perm-ads.com help you. And by Mob Squad. Are you a technology professional facing U.S. work visa related challenges? Don't leave your fate up to chance. Our partner, Mob Squad, has the solution. Mob Squad helps technology professionals facing U.S. work visa related uncertainty remain working with their current U.S. employer nearshore from Canada, as well as technology professionals from around the world who are seeking to find a rewarding opportunity in North America. Through their partnership with the Canadian government, they can obtain a Canadian work permit for you and your spouse in as little as 4 to 6 weeks. So, whether you're looking to stay working with your current U.S. company or you want to find a new opportunity in Canada, please find out how the team at Mob Squad can help you via the link in the video description below. Join the squad. Just wanted to ask you again to please like this video, subscribe to the H1B Guy channel here on YouTube, and click the bell for notifications so that you're notified anytime we post new content here to this channel. If you've made it this far, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Really appreciate your support. The H1B Guy, your global source for all things H1B.